Good morning from my world. What a beautiful day. I coined a phrase from Mr. Rogers where probably only a few out there might remember. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I look out and from my vantage point, I could see clouds, but they're just for a moment. I see the news, I hear the people, I hear fear, and that's for a moment. What are you what are you doing with this moment that you have at hand now? You know, yesterday I spent the day. Of course, I woke up early. I had some dreams that were, I felt pretty positive. I felt very good when I woke up. But by mid morning, I felt like I was hit with this large overdose of negative energy and I had talked to no one. It just hit me from I don't know where. And it took about 5 hours for it to leave, for me to get it gone. And through the talking with a friend, very dear friend of mine, she reminded me of some tapping exercises. It was in the middle of my walk. I stopped for a second to talk, and all of a sudden I found myself getting up and forcing myself to continue my walk. And about a mile down the road, I stopped and changed directions in reverse and go back, and all of a sudden I started seeing things. Now, granted, I like taking photos of the sky. I like the clouds, the sun sets, sun rises. I like the streets. And for some reason, I was drawn to plants. I'm not a, I love plants, but I'm not a fan of capturing plants. And I changed, and all of a sudden, I found myself being drawn to a few. And I take a few shots, and I continue my walk. My energy, I felt changing. The rest of my day ended positively. I get home early, and I started looking at what I captured for the day, and not nearly as many as I normally do, but all of a sudden I started playing around, and it was like, oh my gosh, I seen another avenue. My day was, the sky here was very cloudy, and what made it different for me was there was no life in the clouds. It was just one color. There was no movement in the cloud. It was just one solid light gray, and I couldn't pull anything from the clouds, the sky. And so I was left with changing my direction. And then I seen the message in that. You know, how often do we spend our time going in a single direction and finding ourselves hitting a wall and being basically coerced into changing our direction? I see the time that we're in as that. It's a moment to change our direction. There's the message. This is the time, and it seems quite apparent that it's a time for the whole world to change direction. And how do we change the whole world's direction? Obviously, what has just transpired here as of late, that's one way. But now from that, do you see the power of change? Most can point out the negative, and I can do that very well easily. The negatives that have transpired from this situation. But even through the negativity, there's been positive things that have transpired from it. But what do we see? What do we focus in on? Are we focusing in on the positive of it? Or what is being seen and heard, the negative? And those who are grabbing onto the negative and running through the streets like town criers, pointing out all the negatives. This is, this is happening. This is what's going to happen. Predicting doom and despair. Yes, what is happening right now is not good. But through time, it's always been. What I've always found in my own life is not to attach myself to those fears. Once I at an early age, I found if I grab onto it, it will take me over. And I've seen people being consumed with those negativisms, what is going on around them. They pull them in, they pull that energy into them, and next thing they become susceptible. They bring themselves down, and they bring themselves and open themselves up to whatever comes through. And from an early age, I've learned that there's power in keeping positive energy around me and in me to block out all of that. And so I tend to be the person who will always see the beauty, even in the clouds, even in the darkness, even in the hate, I can see beauty. Even in the fear. Yes. Even in the sadness. We're all here for lessons. This is a journey. We're all on our own journey. This is a time to reflect and find what it is. I posted something with a photo. I do a lot of photos, and so I found somebody's words, and I used them. And I can't remember exactly, but basically it's, in trying times, you find out what's important. And here we are. What's important to you? Things look a lot different in a very short time for those that are around the area that or in this country, United States. In a very short span of time, things have changed. And if they prolong, they could change for a very long time. But what are you going to do? I put a word on one of mine that said, be a willow, bend. Don't be the oak that you can't bend with the times. Bend, find your flow. Find where it is you fit. Find what it is you can do. Believe me, everybody's in the same boat mostly right now. There's something that you can do. I sat for the longest time here where I am located now without a clue as to what it was I'm to do. And now I'm starting to see, because I had that faith and because I believed in why I came. I didn't know why I came back here, but I was pulled back, and now I find why. And it's to face me. I lived most of my life in a place where I planned for this situation, this life event, this world event. And now I find myself completely the opposite. Most would sit and say, I'm ill prepared for this. But I am most prepared because I have no fear. I have no worries. My needs have been met more than expected. And I have no worries. And it doesn't make me blind to what is happening. I'm completely aware of what's happening. But I'm not allowing myself to be consumed with a fear that causes me to do irrational things like racing out to grab toilet paper. These are trying times. try to figure out what it is you're to do. These are times for those who are called to help and heal people or being called to the forefront. And yes, you are being called. That thing inside you that you feel an unease. There's like there's a discomfort. There's like there's something more. There's something else that you are called to do, and you can't put your finger on it, but you know it's there. That's what caused me to come here, to leave everything that I knew. It was that I was being pulled. And as I got here, it took a while, but I eventually, due to faith and believing, the door opened and I walked in. And things are happening in my life, not like I would like in my past life before I got here, but they're happening in the right time. And so no longer do I sit and look at the clock saying, when is it going to happen? When? Because it's not a matter of that. That's a waste of time. Now it's just living. Now it's going out and sharing. Sharing thoughts, sharing love, lending a hand, helping those in need, offering, sharing a kind word. This is a beautiful time that we're in right now. This is a healing time. The planet is especially finding that to be true. And for many that are sitting indoors, you're finding also what's important to you. And it's love. Love will always be the thing. Love will always be what people are searching for. And that's, in the end, the only thing we take. The memories of. The rest do not go with us. Well, that's my long rant for the day. You can find me, if any of this resonates with you on Facebook, Nicholas Gallardo on Facebook. You can find me on my Twin Flame page there, the Twin Flame Journey on Facebook also, for those who are on that journey, which right now it's becoming, the heat's being turned up on those who are on that journey. You can find me also on Instagram, where I do a lot of, seems now, mostly photos. And I share some thoughts on Instagram. You can find me there, The Power of Love Heals. The Power of Love Heals. You can find me on YouTube, where my page, my channel's Power of Love Heals. And I have quite a few videos now, or vlogs there, where if you want, you can go back and look. Like, subscribe. Today is your day. Make it count. Do something spectacular. Tell somebody you love them. We are not guaranteed anything but right now. Yesterday's gone. Today is not here yet. So be now. Be now. Be well. Be love. Always. Until next time, stay awesome.